Imagine a heavy door in front of you. You have been knocking for years, pleading, bargaining, repeating prayers that feel like echoes in a distant corridor. The lock does not budge. The answer is not a refusal, it is a mismatch. The wrong frequency, the wrong key, the wrong supply of fuel for the mechanism inside you. What if the code is not outside, but lodged behind your eyes in a gland smaller than a grain of rice? What if the way to see beyond begins with what you put on your plate and how you feed the antenna inside your skull? This is the ultimate Pineal Diet guide. What to eat to see beyond. I will not promise guarantees. I will give you a surgical, practical protocol. Food, habit, breath, and a short operable practice that shifts the conditions so the pineal gland can better receive signal. Think of the pineal as an antenna and your whole organism as the receiver. The clearer the circuitry, the less noise, the stronger the possible reception. This guide stands between esoteric metaphor and everyday physiology. It translates ritual into routine. It teaches you how to prepare the body as a living circuit so that the inner eye has a chance. If this instruction lands with you, write in the comments, "I activate my pineal." Let that be your small public commitment. One line to anchor your intent before you go deeper. The problem most seekers face is not lack of yearning. It is interference. Mental chatter, chronic stress, processed food, metabolic inflammation, environmental toxins, and cultural conditioning combine to mask subtle signals. Old methods, pleading from the outside, depending on intermediaries, scanning doctrine for permission, are like attempting to tune a radio while the antenna is wrapped in lead. The archons of this teaching are not literal demons, but systems and habits that condition you into dependence. Habitual anxiety, reactive thought patterns, sugar-driven mood swings, and a diet that favors noise over clarity. These create biochemical and neurological states that blunt sensitivity. You must understand two facts. First, memory precedes revelation. The pineal does not invent sight. It remembers how to be a receiver. Second, sovereignty matters. You are not passive. You can change the energy that flows through your body by choosing what you eat, how you breathe, and how you direct attention. This is not about worshiping a gland. It is about reclaiming agency over your attention system. The theory is simple, the work concrete. The three keys you will use are recognition, authority, and command. Recognition is remembering the antenna exists and what it needs. Authority is taking responsibility for your physiology and attention. Deciding your nervous system will be a clear channel. Command is the operative language you use internally to set the system in motion. Declarative, present-tense statements that orient the body-mind toward coherence. Each of these keys has a dietary translation. Recognition begins at the table. Start by recognizing which foods support a calm, resilient nervous system and which create static. Emphasize high chlorophyll leafy greens, spinach, kale, arugula, collards, nettles. Chlorophyll is a carrier of light in plants. Symbolically and biochemically, these greens support cellular oxygenation and detox pathways. Include small servings of raw cacao. In moderation, cacao can support mood and provide a loving vibration to ritual moments. Add sea vegetables in modest amounts, nori, wakame, kelp flakes, for trace iodine and mineral complexity, but use them sparingly if you are new to them. Turmeric paired with black pepper supports systemic anti-inflammatory pathways and is a kitchen-level ally for clarity. Bright citrus, berries, and fermented foods feed a balanced microbiome, and that microbiome communicates back to your brain. Hydration is mandatory. Filtered water, mineral-rich where possible, taken with intention each morning. Practitioners often report that a hydrated, mineral-balanced system is simply quieter. Authority is embodied through steady metabolic choices. Reduce processed sugar and refined carbohydrates that drive rapid insulin swings and mental fog. Avoid habitual heavy meals late at night that burden digestion and disturb sleep architecture. Consider moderate intermittent fasting windows tailored to your body. Not extreme deprivation, but a regular rhythm that allows metabolic reset. Beware of excessive dairy if you notice mucosiness or lethargy after it. For some people, reducing dairy clears the channel. Limit chronic alcohol and high-dose stimulants that fracture subtle attention. Replace empty calories with whole proteins, oily fish rich in omega-3s, eggs, legumes, and a steady rotation of vegetables and healthy fats. Simple fats, avocados, cold-pressed olive oil, small amounts of nuts, stabilize the nervous system. Magnesium-rich foods, pumpkin seeds, dark greens, legumes, support calm. Vitamin D and omega-3s are commonly recommended supports. They are not miracles, but they are often helpful to nervous system integrity. Always treat supplements as optional tools, and consult a qualified professional if you take medications or have chronic conditions. This is not medical advice. Command translates into ritualized ingestion. The way you eat is as important as what you eat. Begin your morning with a small ritual, a glass of filtered water with a slice of lemon or a pinch of sea salt to activate mineral balance, followed by 5 minutes of mindful breathing. Consume a green smoothie or a nutrient-dense breakfast within an hour of rising, a handful of dark greens, a small serving of raw cacao, half a banana, a scoop of fermented yogurt or kefir if tolerated, and a tablespoon of ground flax or chia for omega-3s. Chew. Taste each element. Say a short declarative phrase to orient the meal. I feed my antenna. I welcome clarity. That voice matters. It is part of the command set. There are foods and habits to limit because they increase static. Processed sugar and high fructose syrups are prime offenders. Refined vegetable oils and deep-fried junk foods produce inflammatory cascades and fog. Excessive caffeine, especially in sugary formats, can create jittery feedback that short-circuits delicate inner perception. Fluoride is often referenced in pineal discussions. You can address this practically by choosing fluoride-free toothpaste and using a quality water filter that reduces fluoride if that option is available to you. Present these choices as risk management, not dogma. If you have questions about fluoride or water filtration and medical conditions, consult a professional. Now the protocol, step by step. This is the operative routine to practice for at least 3 weeks before you judge results. Treat it as a circuit reconditioning, not a quick hack. Begin with a daily framework: morning, midday, evening. Morning. Upon waking, drink a glass of filtered water with a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon. Move the body gently for 5 to 10 minutes. Breath-focused stretching, sun-facing window exposure, or a short walk. Light is a signal. If possible, get direct morning light to help circadian alignment. Eat the ritual breakfast described above within an hour. No heavy processed sugars. Keep caffeine moderate and paired with fat and protein to avoid spikes. Midday. Aim for a balanced meal centered on vegetables, lean protein, healthy fats, and fermented side dishes. Half your plate leafy greens. Include a small sea vegetable garnish 2 to 3 times per week. If you take supplements, midday or early afternoon is often suitable. A broad-spectrum omega-3, magnesium glycinate at evening if you struggle with sleep, vitamin D based on your needs. Again, consult a practitioner for dosing. Before or after lunch, do a 3-minute grounding breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. During the practice week, note how specific foods alter your baseline. If a meal leaves you irritable or foggy, adjust. Evening. Reduce heavy meals and limit blue light 2 hours before sleep. Choose an evening meal that supports restoration: steamed vegetables, a moderate protein, fermented side, kimchi or sauerkraut, and a light fat like olive oil. Avoid late-night sugar. Consider a light herbal tea, chamomile or lemon balm. If you enjoy cacao, keep it to the morning or early afternoon. Evening stimulants can compromise sleep depth. A stable sleep rhythm is essential. The brain cleans house at night. A clean diet amplifies that clearing. Now a short list of commonly referenced supportive items. They are offered contextually, not as prescriptions. Raw cacao in small amounts, turmeric with black pepper, sea vegetables in rotation, fermented foods and probiotics for gut-brain communication, magnesium and omega-3 supplements for nervous system support, vitamin D where deficient. Any supplement should be discussed with a healthcare professional if you are on medication, pregnant, nursing, or have chronic illness. Not medical advice. Food alone will not unlock the door. Diet prepares the circuitry. The activation practice wires intention into physiology. Below is a micro-session you can perform in about 10-15 minutes, ideally after a light, clean meal or a green smoothie, when the body is not stressed by heavy digestion. This sequence combines the 3 keys: recognition, authority, and command. Sit or lie comfortably. Disconnect. Close your eyes and move attention inward. Take 3 long breaths, feeling the body settle. Name the noise without feeding it. Thought comes, let it pass like clouds. Recognition. Place your hands gently over your sternum. Feel the heartbeat. Say silently or aloud, "I remember my antenna." Hold that phrase for 3 breaths. Feel where attention naturally rests. Descent. Imagine an elevator inside you. With each breath, the elevator descends through the throat into the heart, then into the solar plexus. Spend 3 to 5 breaths anchoring in the heart center. Allow any tension to dissolve downward and out. This is not fantasy, it is somatic redirection. The body responds to focused attention. Resonance. Inhale deeply through the nose. On the exhale, hum a long tone. At a comfortable pitch. Feel the vibration in the cranial bones and at the center of the forehead. Repeat this for 5 cycles. The sound produces internal resonance. This is not magic. It is a physical vibration that shifts attention and can modulate autonomic balance. Command. In a clear voice or silently, issue a present tense declaration. Monad, antenna online. Pineal receptive. I claim clarity. It is done. Use words that land like a code. State them once with conviction. Do not beg. Command simply seals the intention. Breathe. Sit in the stillness for 2 to 4 breaths. Notice any subtle changes. Warmth, coolness, shift in thought tempo. Release. Open the hands, let attention broaden, and place feet on the ground. Say to yourself, I release outcome. I return to my day. Stand, stretch slowly, and drink a small glass of water. Resume activity. Do not chase signs or obsess. The practice is a seed, not a guarantee. As you practice the diet and the micro-session, look for 3 kinds of validation. First, collapse or clearing. This is the system reorganizing. Old habits and dependencies may shift in unpredictable ways. You may notice a change in appetite, in your relationship to certain people, or in routines that no longer fit. Treat these as neutral readouts. Observe. Do not assume spiritual significance for every discomfort. Second, echoes and artifacts. You may notice synchronicities, a repeated phrase in a book, a chance conversation, a symbol appearing. These are subtle confirmations that the system is shifting in resonance with new input. Notice them without clinging. They are signals, not objectives. Third, neutrality. The most reliable metric is a loss of desperation. As your system stabilizes, the energy behind seeking shifts from anxiety to curiosity. You become less grasping. That neutral stance is the clearest sign of progress. There are important warnings. Doubt is interference. When doubt emerges, do not engage it like a debate partner. Acknowledge it and return to the practice. Chronic skepticism used as avoidance can stall the process. Also, do not chase sensational experiences. Some traditions may frame visionary episodes as a measure of worth. We do not need spectacle. Safety is paramount. Do not undertake extreme fasting, prolonged sensory deprivation, or unsupervised use of potent plant medicines. This guide does not recommend illegal substances or risky protocols. If you have medical conditions or take medication, consult your healthcare provider before making significant diet or supplement changes. Expect latency. Bodies and nervous systems require time to recondition. Give yourself at least 3 weeks of consistent practice and dietary attention to create measurable shifts. Patience here is not passive. It is disciplined continuity. Let's translate this into a practical weekly template you can adopt right away. Day 1 through Day 7. Morning ritual of water. Light. Green smoothie. Midday balanced meal with fermented side. Evening calming meal. Daily 5-minute breath practice and a 10-15-minute micro session after lunch or early evening. Rotate sea vegetables 2 to 3 times per week. Include turmeric daily if tolerated. Keep sugar low. Sleep by the same hour each night when possible. After 3 weeks, evaluate your baseline. Mood, sleep depth, clarity of attention. Adjust as needed. Throughout this work, maintain a posture of sovereignty. You are not subordinate to any intermediary who claims exclusive access to spiritual power. At the same time, practice humility. The body is a partnership. You feed it, you listen to it, you steward it. Balance confidence with care. Now a short declarative invocation you can use at the end of any practice. Speak it firmly, once, and then carry on with your day. Monad, antenna online. Pineal receptive. I claim clarity. It is done. I release outcome. I live my day. Say it. Breathe. Then return to ordinary tasks. This anchors the practice and prevents obsessive rumination. A practical note about technology and environment. Reduce bright screens before bed. Use blue light filters after sunset. And create an evening routine that signals to your nervous system a period of restoration. If you live in an area with high environmental toxin burden, simple steps like air filtration, a high-quality water filter, and reducing processed food intake are meaningful. Small, pragmatic adjustments compound. People who walk this path often fall into 2 errors. They either expect instant, spectacular visions, or they abandon the work when nothing dramatic happens. Neither is useful. The work is engineering of attention. Celebrate small wins, deeper sleep, less reactivity to stress, clearer thought, a quieter morning mind. These are the infrastructure of deeper perception. Finally, a few practical recipes and swaps to make starting easier. A morning green smoothie, a handful of spinach, 1 small banana, half an avocado, 1 teaspoon raw cacao, a tablespoon of kefir or fermented yogurt if tolerated, and a cup of filtered water. Blend until smooth. Morning ritual cacao. Melt 1 teaspoon of raw cacao with hot water or herbal milk. Add a pinch of cinnamon and sip mindfully. Lunch template. Large salad of mixed dark greens, grilled oily fish or legumes, a small sprinkle of toasted nori, olive oil and lemon dressing, and a tablespoon of sauerkraut. Dinner template. Steamed vegetables, a serving of lean protein or beans, turmeric-seasoned grains or root, and a side of fermented vegetables. Snacks. Pumpkin seeds, berries, a small square of high-percentage dark chocolate, or an olive oil-dressed handful of greens. Remember, these are tools. They increase the probability of receptivity. They do not guarantee a vision. They are not substitutes for professional medical care. If you take prescription medication, have a chronic condition, or are pregnant or nursing, consult a qualified healthcare practitioner before changing diet or adding supplements. In closing, the door you have been knocking at is not locked from the outside. It is a mechanism waiting for the right key, recognition of your antenna, the authority to steward your circuitry, and the command that sets intention into motion. Feed the system clean, move it gently, speak clearly, and practice with diligence. Trust the process more than the outcome. Watch for collapse, echoes, and neutrality as your signs. Do not indulge doubt. Keep the diet simple, the rituals concise, the intention steady. One final short practice to anchor this message. Place your hands over your sternum, breathe 3 long inhalations, feel your heartbeat, and say once aloud, I remember my antenna, I claim my clarity, it is done. Release your hands. Return to the world with care. If this guide helped you take a next step, subscribe to this channel to explore deeper modules where we unpack recipes, longer guided sessions, and safe dietary planning. Join the community to share your one-line affirmation and see how others are stewarding their signal. Above all, stay steady. The antenna is patient. The work is faithful.